Do you see this beautiful channel? With all its glorious videos, the beautiful thumbnails. I'm pretty proud of these last two. I like these. Do you see all this work I've gone to entertain you? The least you can do for me is subscribe. The least you can do for me, motherfucker, is to join up, become one with the Cleary. Do it, motherfucker. Do it. What's up? I'm Cleary. So it happened. It fucking happened. Yeah, the shit's blown up when it comes to Destiny and Melina, apparently. I tried to look up Melina's side of what's going on. It sounds like, from what I heard from Destiny, that the majority of this, what provoked him to talk about it on stream, is private. Private conversations they've had and shit. So, yeah, it doesn't seem like, but maybe she has on her stream. I can't go through like hours and hours of like her stream to try to find her side of shit. I only did some like basic looking up. I might do some more research later, but for now, I'm just gonna like check out his video, see what he's got to say about everything. So yeah, we're starting at 3:01.
Who do the mutual friends believe? So one of the issues, let me say this right now, okay? I need to organize thoughts, figure out what I want to say, what I don't want to say. Because I don't want to just like leak all the details of my relationship. If for no other reason, because it's just dumb. And it makes everybody look bad, and it's just stupid. Like, I don't need to go over all of it.
Yeah, I feel like that could get really, really messy really, really, really fast. Because, I mean, like 5 years of a relationship, you know, they both know each other really fucking well, and they probably have a lot of shit on each other. That would be nasty, dude. Ooh.
But just like a little update, I guess, on where my brain is at. Somebody asked, who do the mutual friends believe? I think prior to a few weeks ago, I think most of the mutual friends kind of believe Melina, because there's this like really irritating trend where, and listen, I say this to everybody, okay? If you don't believe me, okay, I don't know why I'm saying it to you guys though, because you don't have access to these people. It's like, if you don't believe me, go talk to other people, okay? And I have messaged people, I have asked people, do you feel this is accurate? Do you feel this is true? The issue is that, let me invent a story. This is truly invented. It didn't happen. There's no resemblance of reality here, okay? Let's say that like I'm sleeping and Mel comes into the bedroom and she has an air horn and she thinks it'd be a funny prank to like press the air horn, okay? Let's say that she does that and it wakes me up and I get so irritated. I wake up, I just slap her. I'm like, and then I chill for a second. I'm like, sorry. And then she's upset. And then I'm upset and we argue, and then we separate, okay? Let's say theoretically, let's say this event happens, okay? The way that this would work, okay? This isn't like tongue-in-cheek, I'm completely making sense. But like, to demonstrate a point, the way that this would work is, if I was complaining to a friend about Melina's behavior, this is what I would say, okay? I would say, Melina is super upset. She woke me up with an air horn, okay? And it super triggered me, and I hit her, and I absolutely shouldn't have. That was stupid. I understand why Melina's upset, but like the air horn shit like triggered me, okay? But like, yeah, I mean, obviously I probably shouldn't hit her, right? This is how I tell basically every story involving me and Melina's problems to every single mutual friend, and has been for the history of our relationship. When Melina tells a story to a mutual friend, Melina will say, yesterday I played a harmless prank on Steve and he hit me for absolutely no reason.
Okay.
And I think he always like harbors his feelings against me. I don't know why the would hit me. I don't even know if I feel safe here anymore. It's horrible. That's how Melina tells stories.
Okay, so first off, I fucking hate people like that. I absolutely hate people like that who are just like, when they're mad at somebody, they are incapable of telling even like a little bit of their side of the story. Like they have to be the fucking villain. Yeah, you know what I mean? I hate that shit so much. Secondly, I almost guarantee that fucking that little analogy, that little story he spun does kind of map onto reality. I bet there were times where she woke him up like, and she was fucking pissed about something, and he got like super fucking mad. That being the slap, right? So the air horn like being, you know, her like fucking going at him, like going like, Steve, we need to talk about this right now, and he just like fucking flips out on her because, you know, like obviously he was fucking sleeping. I could totally see that being where he got that story from. Yeah, the mutual thing is unfortunate. I think he probably just has to let that go. That's usually what I do. Yeah, you just gotta move on from it.
Yeah. Destiny, this is giving me I am such an empath vibes. Usually people who say they are pushovers in a relationship are the ones doing the pushing. I agree with you. I agree with you 1,000,000%. And listen, if at the end of the day, you don't believe any of the shit I'm saying, then go for it. Knock yourself out. I don't, listen, yeah, believe what you want.
So, when the divorce shit, like pretty much every time he's talked about his relationship issues, I always have a little bit of doubt in the back of my head. He is like known for being, pretty open and honest about stuff. But at the same time, the guy does have a habit of just not being able to sustain relationships. Okay, he's definitely the common denominator there, right? And I've wondered about that, and I've wondered if they're like things he does that he's not like fully aware of, like he understands they're bad, but he doesn't understand just how bad those things are for like a relationship, that he does habitually. I've always wondered if if we were to get like a week's worth of video of Destiny and Melina hanging out, and they didn't realize the camera was on them and shit. Like if we were able to see that, I wonder. I'll just be curious to see like the relationship dynamics and to see like how much at fault Destiny is. I'm inclined to believe him when he talks about all these issues, especially since like throughout the video he's talking about receipts and shit. Like there are a lot of things he supposedly has that could show that Melina is being fucking psychotic. But yeah, I still think that he might be causing more issues than he realizes. Or like once again, he's just not putting enough weight on certain things.
Time, because of my background and everything, I try to assume all the responsibility for everything, because if there's a problem and I can't fix it, then I just say, okay. In some ways, this is really beneficial for work. In some ways, it's really not beneficial, like personal relationships, because sometimes it's hard for me to assign accountability, or it's hard for me to realize like, okay, well, I'm putting in like 99% of the effort here and they're putting in 1%. Like I need more. This is not like a equitable exchange of who's trying to make like a particular thing work. That was a huge problem that I ran into with Melina. The two things that I was like balancing my head on was either like Melina is like this really kind of like toxic, manipulative, like piece of shit who's like super self-centered and is like actually about as smart as I thought she was, and is like really good at kind of like aiming in intelligent directions and being like manipulative and doing things like for reasons that make sense. Or on the other end, she's just like, she's still growing, she's like emotionally developing. Some other person is like kind of with her mind a lot and like confusing her on a lot of things, and she just needs time to like sort stuff out, and she's just kind of like easy to take advantage of for blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I mean she's still in her mid-20s, so that's like very much possible. But so once again, I just have like just this little nugget of doubt in my brain when it comes to like he claims he's a pushover when it comes to relationships, and I get it. It can be hard to see that just because like he's super antagonistic online and all that, very like self-assured, very very stubborn. I wonder how much of that bleeds into relationships. I'm very curious about that. But maybe he is. Maybe I could also see that too, because he's got the stoic thing going on, right? Like, oh, nothing bothers me, blah blah blah. So yeah, maybe there have been a lot of issues that he has pretended like he doesn't care about, or he he just kind of defaults to whatever, do whatever the fuck you want, just leave me alone. Maybe. Oh, you fucking ad! If I play the video, you should fucking play the ad. I don't know what the fuck that was about. Skip, dude.
Okay, so I'm giving you this warning. Okay, I'm giving you this warning for this piece of advice. Okay.
Oh, dude, what the? Okay. Fuck YouTube, fuck ads, fuck all this shit.
I'm so tired in my life of people weaponizing feeling statements against me, and I'm so fucking tired of friends both sidesing our disagreements, because a lot of the disagreements that me and Melina will have or have had historically are statements of fact. There is no room for disagreement here. And I hate how many people will say things like, well, I understand you said this, but she feels this way, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, we're not arguing about a feeling right here. This is like a true or false fact. I don't understand how we're having a both sides perspective on this, okay? Record shit, log shit, have shit. Don't let people do that to you, okay? Don't let, and I'm not even saying they're gaslighting. They're just trying to be understanding of both sides. But like, it is important to establish like a fact pattern before you develop like narratives and feelings and opinions of them. Okay, that's really important. I've gotten a lot better at that, especially over the past 2 weeks. Holy.
So speaking of importance when it comes to that sort of stuff, I have a problem when it comes to relationships as well. I have a problem sustaining long-term relationships when it comes to friends, partners, whatever. I have some sort of issue when it comes to people. Now, my mom always fucking tells me, like, you care way too much about like what's true and what's not. You care too much about being right when you get into like disagreements with people. And it's really hard for me to wrap my brain around that, because like if we're getting into a fucking fight and they're like 100% the wrong, I'm like, yeah, of course I care about being right in that occasion. They're fucking me over. Like, yeah, it's their fucking fault. I think like the point my mom drives at when it comes to that stuff is your goal shouldn't be to like win. It should be to like, it should be to resolve the disagreement and to like, you know, like not fucking take down that tie with that person, right? Your goal should be to keep the relationship going. I don't know how much I agree with that, because once again, there are certain like boundaries everyone has that it's just like, is it even worth keeping the relationship going after you've done like this fucking psychotic thing, right? But I definitely think there's some wisdom there. Yeah, I have this problem a lot. I don't know what the fucking solution is. I really don't. Like, because when I do get into like disagreements with people like that, and I know for a fact I'm fucking right, like I fucking push that point home so fucking hard. I can't help myself. Like I will sit there, like I'll be doing something else. It'll be maybe even like a couple days after it happened, and I'll just start being like, oh my god, I can't believe they're fucking saying that shit about me. Like how could they even possibly believe that shit? Like I'm so obviously in the right here. Like how stupid do you have to be to fucking disagree with me? I'll be sitting there like ranting to myself about it. I can't let it go. Like if I'm fucking right, I'm fucking right. I will push that point home. And I feel like, once again, when it comes to those things, this is something I'm trying out. I don't want to say trying to work on, because I don't know if this will work for me long term, but I'm trying to let go of who's right and who's wrong a little more and focus more on like keeping the relationship. You know what I mean? Just resolving the disagreement in a way that keeps us together. Maybe I'm projecting a bit when it comes to Destiny, but I kind of feel like there's a little bit of that going on. And when it comes to the mutual friends, this is kind of what I was leading to. They seem to understand that. So I would assume that, like, you could say, oh, they just want to like stay, you know, like they want to keep their relationship good with you and Melina, and that's why they're both siding it or whatever. But if we're being charitable, we could say that they understand the goal. They understand that the goal is to keep the relationship together, to, you know, just kind of like, to bury the hatchet, right? To find some sort of resolution that works out for both people and keeps the relationship going. They understand that goal. I don't know how much Destiny does. Or maybe he would say, like, well, in that case, like, I mean, if I have to, like, essentially say I'm wrong when I know I'm fucking right, like, you know, what's the fucking point of being in that relationship to begin with? Maybe. Once again, this is something I'm trying to figure out myself, so I don't really have any advice when it comes to that, but it is bad. It's bad, for sure. For me, maybe it's more like how I express that you are absolutely fucking dead wrong and really, really stupid for being that fucking wrong. But, you know, like, if I express it in something that feels like what I just said right there, that kind of has that emotional impact to that person, like, that's probably bad, right? So maybe finding better, nicer ways of saying you're really, really fucking stupid. And maybe that's something, like, I think I might start trying to, like, focus in on that a little bit, But yeah, no, I'm right there with Destiny. Dude, I'm really bad about maintaining relationships. I just can't. Most people are dumb fucks, and they will screw you over. It's fucking true. It's fucking true. It's true.
Yeah, and it felt good. It felt good to pick the bullets out of the air. Again, I'm not going to like dive into like everything, but I'll say, for instance, one thing, because this was kind of public already. Something that I've said about Melina is that Melina emotionally rewrites everything. So, for instance, so now when she talks to people about me, I've always been an abuser. I've always been a horrible person, blah, 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 blah. She emotionally rewrites the history with everybody based on her current state. Or she'll rewrite the facts based on her current emotional state. So one of the things Melina starts telling me is like, you owe me this because I abandoned all of my stuff in Sweden for you. And it's not fair that like I moved to the US and gave up so much and I abandoned so much in Sweden for you. And I'm like, no, you didn't. You abandoned New Zealand for me. And she's like, no, I abandoned Sweden. I couldn't go back after I blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, you hated Sweden and you abandoned New Zealand. And I know this And then I start pulling logs from the first year of our relationship, because the first year or two of our relationship, all of the fighting was over her not wanting to leave New Zealand and hating Sweden and then having to come to the United States. And there are so many logs of that. There were even logs when she went back to Sweden. She's like, I hate it here. I hate Sweden. It's such a horrible place. And then when we would fight, she'd be like, I can't believe you pulled me away from my dream place of New Zealand. And she's like, well, that's not true. I married you so that we could be together in the United States. I was like, Melina, you were engaged to a guy in New Zealand 2 weeks after you went down there, okay? Everybody thinks that like I cucked her out of Max or whatever. Melina was engaged to another guy, and then she also was dating Max. There's a whole other guy that was involved there. I don't know if he ever gets brought up, by the way, but whatever, run with your assumptions. But yeah, I was like, Melina, you got engaged to this guy immediately so that you could live in New Zealand forever. And that's what we always thought about. And she was trying to say that you pulled me away from Sweden. Like, bro, you never liked Sweden. You're like, this is a new thing that you've decided because now you've got like a new group of friends in Sweden, and now you're going to say that like you've loved Sweden the whole time and I like blah, 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 blah. But that's like, that was just like one example. It was like 45 minutes of her trying to lie. I would say probably gaslight. I think it's accurate here. She's trying to make me misremember events so that she can manipulate it for her purpose, so that she can like win an argument. But I'm just like, at every point, I'm like, well, do you have a log for this? Well, can you show me this? Do you have any proof for this? Because I've got a bunch of stuff that says the opposite. And then we've got a third party in the call, and she's like, well, what do you think about this? Like, shut up, Steven. Don't shut up. Shut the fuck up. And obviously the other third party is like, well, I don't know. Like, Melina, do you have like a log or anything else or whatever? And then Melina's like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Clearly, he's made up his mind.
Okay. Sorry, this part is just like, I just felt like playing a little ukulele. You know what I mean? All right, getting some music, mixing it with the politics, the fucking relationship drama. Fuck yeah, get a little background music. You know. That was so good. Fuck you. Anyways. Yeah, that's really fucking annoying. When people are like, essentially, they're. My ukulele fell. Anyways, when people are kind of like creating problems out of nothing, like making up reasons to be mad at you or why you were in the wrong. That is one of the most irritating things in the fucking world to me. But it's so hard, dude. I feel like it's so hard when your mindset, like after a breakup, like it's gonna be shit no matter what. It's probably gonna be absolute fucking dog shit. So like, I mean. You just kind of naturally want to blame the other person, right? You want them to be the fucking villain in the story, so you start making shit up. Yeah, like, don't do it. Avoid it, okay? At all costs. Try to maintain some sense of, like, reasonability. Please, God, don't be like Melina in this case. If it's true, once again, I incline towards believing Destiny when he says this shit, but he hasn't, like, proven anything yet, right? As far as I know, anyway. So, he could be lying, possibly. I would give it, like, 10%, like 10% chance he's lying. Yeah, not very high, but yeah, that's really annoying. I can definitely sympathize with him when it comes to that. Empathize, I guess, but
I think it was just the initial problem. I think I guess if you vibe with this problem, the reason why I don't like talking about this problem though is because somebody in chat said this correctly, and it is true. Most of the people that say this are the exact opposite. Melina did this a lot. When somebody's like, I give so much to everybody around me. I'm taking care of other people all the time. I wish somebody would just like take care of me for once and blah, 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 blah. 99% of the time people say shit like this, they're like, you are the energy vampire in the room, okay? Everybody is falling into the black hole of your energy sucking, okay? Like,
yeah, so I'd agree. Well, yeah, I have met people that are super duper giving and don't really expect anything in return. But dude, a lot of the times I feel like people that do actually like do a decent amount for other people, they do it to have leverage over people. Like, I have met people like that. It's really fucked up. It's like, hey, I'll cook you dinner. Hey, you want to come over? Yeah, I'll fucking like, yeah, don't worry about like bringing anything, dude. I got the beer, I got the fucking weed. Yeah, I got it all taken care of. And then like, yeah, it's like, it's a way to have leverage over people. Yeah, to keep people around as well. I think it's pretty gross too. It's good to do things for people like that. Well, there should always, it's just, no matter what relationship you're in, just make sure there's some reciprocity, right? Like make sure you're giving your partner, your friend, what they need in the relationship, and make sure you're receiving what you need in turn, right? Like you should both be doing like a pretty equal amount for one another. But yeah, people that say they do a lot for other people, a lot of the times, yeah, no, I understand. Or like, it's either they don't really, and they're just kind of saying that to make themselves look good, or they do it to have like leverage over people. I've only met a few people where it really genuinely feels like they do a lot for other people because they care. There are a couple of people I can think of. My ex-piano teacher actually is one of those people. She would do fucking anything for any one of her fucking students. Even though, fuck, I feel like she would do anything for me nowadays. Like if I was in a really, really bad place, and I haven't taken, like I stopped taking piano lessons like, oh my God, like 8 years ago, I think. Yeah, those people do exist, but a lot of the times people do it for selfish reasons, for sure.
That the I'll figure out what I want to say on this, because I'm not gonna say like it truly isn't like this is just me here to blow up Melina. I'm not actually, as much as I would love to do that, I'm not actually like trying to. Yeah, I don't know. I think that me and Melina want very, very, very different things in life. Actually, you know what? Actually, I think I've said it a million times perfectly over and over on stream, and I will say it one more time. If you are 30 years old, you should probably date girls that are like 25 and older. It's really scary when you date somebody who's 20, because when somebody's that young, they don't really know what they want yet. And especially from 20 to 25, you do a lot of growing, you get into real relationships, you do all this stuff. By the end of like this maturation process, right, when you hit your mid to late 20s,
you don't even know
what you want might be completely different from when you're in your early 20s. And by the time you've hit 30, you probably roughly know what you want. What I want right now is about the same thing I wanted 5 years ago, about the same thing I wanted 10 years ago.
I am so curious to see how he talks about himself when he's in his 40s. I bet he's going to be like, nah, dude, in my 30s, I was kind of a dumb fuck. Maybe not. Fucking maybe not. But Destiny is kind of one of those people that's like, no matter what age he's at, he thinks he is like, dude, I hate people that do that. Honestly, I think, nah, fuck, hold on. We all kind of do that, right? Like I'm in my like mid 20s, right? And I definitely, well, especially compared to like fucking teenagers or whatever, I'm definitely like way more fucking mature than I used to be. Like, holy shit, a huge fucking difference. But I don't really know what's coming next, right? I don't know how much more I have to learn, right? So that lack of knowledge, can lead to like, that the kind of, having a big ego that like, oh, I'm fucking fully grown up and super mature and shit, when you're not really. And you'll look back on yourself in like 5 years and be like, wow, dude, I was just the stupidest fucker in the world, wasn't I? I think it's always good to try to keep that in mind, that you have not fully grown up yet. You are not fully mature. No matter what stage you are at in life, you are probably going to learn quite a bit more in the next like 5-10 years. And you're going to look back on yourself, 10 years later and be like, wow, dude, like even in like, in your 70s, like looking back on your 60s, I could see you being like, wow, why the fuck was I doing that with my life? What the fuck was I doing? Maybe not. There's definitely like, I would say like probably when you're 30s, 40s, like you're probably like as mature as you're going to get. Maybe I don't know. But Destiny does pull the age card a lot. He does that a lot, and it's slightly annoying, just a little bit. But also on the topic of the age gap between him and Melina. So I've known people with some pretty significant age gaps, and one problem is like, yeah, exactly, like what he's talking about. They don't really know what they want out of life. But another problem is that when they do kind of start wanting to like wriggle out of the relationship, if the older partner is maybe a little selfish or a little abusive, they can do things or say things to keep them fucking locked in. It's really creepy. It's really, really bad. Yeah, I'm pretty sure what some of my friends in the past, it wasn't good shit. It was not good shit. Yeah, and plus the older person would have been so much happier with someone like around her age. She would have been so much fucking happier. They're both kind of miserable, and it kind of feels like the older person in that situation is got like a stranglehold on the younger person almost. It's kind of like forcing him to stay in the fucking relationship, like in subtle ways. And that's the other thing when it comes to like different levels of maturity. If there is like a big difference there, it's really easy for the older person to even accidentally, like completely unintentionally, like fucking end up like kind of manipulating the other person, right? And since like, like especially if they're like really young, like 18, 19 or whatever, they can be really susceptible to that sort of stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, I think definitely try to date people in your like around your age. That's for sure a good thing. And that was, Destiny knew. Going in, he knew there was like a fucking 12-year age gap or something between them. So like he knew what he was like getting into. I don't think he's dated somebody with that young before, but like it's obvious to everyone, if you're gonna get in a relationship like that, some stupid shit's probably gonna happen. It's probably not gonna be like the perfect relationship or whatever. He did to himself overall. I think that's my opinion on that. But yeah. Anyway, So that's been yeah, Destiny drama. Yeah, it finally fucking happened. He came out and started just like absolutely shitting on Melina. I don't think I blame him. It sounds like shit's getting kind of fucked, and he just wants to defend himself. That seems to be the overall like, yeah, that seems to be overall what's happening. I am going to try to find Melina's side of the story. I'm gonna try to find her talking about shit that happened. But of course, there's never gonna be a way to like prove that either one of them are right unless they start like dropping shit, right? So I guess I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, this shit it's getting spicy. Fuck yeah, dude. All right. Anyways, yeah, I have been. Well, this has been Destiny getting fucked over with his divorce with Cleary, and yeah, I love you guys. Bye bye.